It's 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. East Coast. I want to thank everyone for joining our call. A little housekeeping. We have this call every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. East Coast. And we also have a 1-hour training call before this call for our marketing system for people to help build their business if you've decided that you want to do this business team building wise and not passively. You can join us 1 hour before this call on the same channel, same place, and I answer any questions for our marketing system to help you. So that's new changing started today. For everyone else, I want to thank you for being here. My name is Clay Sampson, and I will assure you tonight on tonight's meeting, it's maybe a little different from what you're used to. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. What you may be used to, allergies are starting here with spring coming. Summer coming. Sorry about that. Okay, so I promise you that it will be a little different than most meetings you've been to. I'm not going to hype you. You're not going to have someone coming on that I'm going to introduce you, telling you that they make 7 figures, 8 figures, they have 55 Lamborghinis and 35 yachts and the whole bit. You guys know the program. This is a simple situation. I owe you 2 things, an opportunity and proof that it works. Tonight may be a little bit uncomfortable for some, but I believe when we have uncomfortable subjects, they need to be addressed head on. I'm going to give you information. I'm going to hit you right between the eyes, and it is what it is, okay? But I do need some help, and I do need some volunteers. I see we have about 13 people on, so I'm not sure where all the other people that are not able to retire are, but maybe it's a Sunday and people are siestaing or whatever they're doing. So it is what it is. But this is being recorded, and it will be available for anyone to share with your family and friends. Okay, so before I get started, I have one question to ask. I have a briefcase, and in my briefcase, I have $1 million cash, and I'm willing to give it to anyone that jumps out of a parachute jump out of an airplane. Without a parachute. I've asked that question many, many times, and I usually get the same response: no, I'm not going to do it. Or someone says, well, if the airplane's over water, maybe. Or someone says, well, if my family can get $1 million, I've never understood that answer. But here's the interesting part about that. I never said the airplane was in the air. In fact, if you took a tour of most airplanes, where are they? They're on the ground. But what do most people do? They jump to conclusions. When you jump to conclusions, a few things happen. You miss opportunities. I think a lot of people are jumping to conclusions right now in our world. They think they're going to retire. That's not the case. We'll talk about that in a minute. They think they're going to retire happily. Nope. Most people will end up working till the day they die. And that's a sad situation because we've raised our families. We've worked for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever you've worked. And I believe before we leave this chapter of the universe, you should enjoy your life. And tonight I'm going to show you how we're going to get there, okay? So let's jump right in. Here's life. We're born, we work, then we try to retire. How is the retirement going to work? What's really happening with that? I'm going to show you some proof today because I believe documentation beats conversation. So a lot of webinars, a lot of speeches are all based on someone's opinion. I'm not just going to give you my opinion. I'm going to show you facts. And you get to make whatever decision works for you and your family, okay? So here's a fact. It will take over 800,000 to retire. That is a fact. I will show you the article at the end of this presentation because I like to, again, I believe in documentation, not just conversation, okay? What is your current plans to get to that $800,000? If you're already there, I want to congratulate you. I think that's a wonderful situation. You still won't have a whole lot because at $800,000, it won't be a whole lot to retire on, but at least you're better than most, and I'll show you in a minute. If you're not there, what is your plan? How much do you have put away if you don't have the $800,000? How close are you to $10 million? Because that's what I really think you need, but we'll leave that one alone because some people don't see that type of number in their mind, but I do. What will be your ongoing income were you to walk away or get hurt or be sick or something in your current job right now? What will be your ongoing income? Most people will be in trouble, okay? What are you earning currently and whatever you're putting away? If you're putting away whatever you have, what are you earning currently? Are you in a CD? Are you in a mutual fund? Are you in a 401k? Are you playing the stock market? Are you getting 1% a year return? Are you getting 12% a year return, which is a phenomenal number? Where are you? Okay. What plan have you put in place? Do you have a plan? Does anybody on this call right now, there's now 18 of us, does anyone on this call, besides someone that's using the system I'm talking about today, have a plan? What is your plan? How are you going to get there? Are you able to make it doing what you're currently doing right now? So if you continue doing what you're doing, so you may figure, let's say you're 50, let's say you're 40, and you've been working for 20 years and you have $20,000 saved. Math says chances are you're not going to make it to that 800 grand or that million or that 2 million. It's just math. But 1 + 1 is 2, no matter how you look at it. It's just numbers. But most people bury their heads in the sand because they don't have a solution. That changes tonight. Do you know what compound interest is? Einstein said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And I truly believe that. I absolutely believe that, but most people don't understand it. He also said those that understand it will earn it. The ones that don't will pay it. Let me repeat. Those that understand it will earn it. The ones that don't will pay it. Okay? Here's the 30 years worth of hard work. It's just math. $10 million at 8% return. If you can get 8% return, is $65,000 a month. That's a great way to retire, but it's also $10 million. How are you going to get there? $5 million at 8% is $33,000 a month. That's a better retirement, better situation. Hopefully you get there, but most people are not going to have $5 million. So you're just not going to have it. Okay. I'm going to turn myself off camera for a minute. You guys could pay attention to the slides. $1 million at 8% will get you $7,000 a month. And that's barely really making it because I don't think you're really going to make it there with that situation. Okay. So how we're going to get there? Let's do the, let's add compound interest to the equation now. I can show you a program that can get you to $65,000 a month in 1 year with as little as $1,000 in. It's going to be work. Yes, you're going to have to work. There's no such thing as get rich quick. That's not this program. You can join us. You can be part of us for 2-3 months. You're not going to be rich. You're not going to be able to leave your job in 3 months because anybody telling you that is probably playing games with you. I'm going to ask you to put in a 3-year process. I'm going to ask you to put in a 3-year situation where you follow something for 3 years and you tell me what it looks like, how it feels, how does the situation work when you follow it. It's that simple. And you can do the math. You can figure out what you think is going to happen based on the numbers. And tonight, all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to show you how you put it together. It's really, really that simple. Okay. So here's the deal about compound interest. And most people don't get this. Most people don't understand 1 penny. 1 penny doesn't seem like a lot of money, but if you compound it, if you double it every day for 30 days, it turns out to be a whole lot of money, like $5.3 million. The first 7 days is not that great. The first 10 days is not that great. Even the first 20 days is not that great. But when you get into day number 23, 24, 25, that's when the compounding effort has taken place, and that's what it's going to be. Okay? So I want to give you an analogy tonight because just like the airplane story, I want to keep your head totally focused. I want to keep you clear, and I want you to think about this for a minute. Most of you, if not all of us, know about something very simple called the automobile, electricity, the internet, and the stock market. The question is, do we know them intimately? Like, do you fully understand how an automobile works? Do you really, can you go build one right now in a garage or in a warehouse and put your family in it? Do you know how electricity really gets into your house? Do you know how the internet really works? Do you know how the stock market really works? Do you intimately know these things? Or are you just happy about the benefit of these things? The automobile gets you from point A to point B. Electricity keeps your water cold, your drinks cold, lights up your house at night. The internet helps you find things, helps you do all kinds of stuff. I'll be on the internet tonight after this. I show you this presentation so you can see different things. The stock market goes up, it goes down. These are all different things that will help you, but do you know them intimately? The reason I'm bringing that up because tonight I'm going to talk to you about something, basically make money, use money to make more money, and repeat the process. And I'm going to talk to you about that in something called blockchain technology. You may not understand blockchain technology. But all I'm going to show you tonight is what is done for myself. A few of the other members on this call can tell you what is done for them. And that's all that really matters. What really matters is how does the system work for you and what does it do for you? That's really all that matters, okay? So that's our slideshow. I want to talk a little bit about the company we're doing business with, and you can ask me more questions about that. It's very simple. The name of the company is called Nui Social. They're out of Utah. That's the corporate office, 5th floor. There are multiple income streams to this company, but tonight I'm going to stick with one because I don't want to give you analysis paralysis by giving you too much information. But we have something called Core, absolutely amazing. Kala, absolutely amazing. Mintage is what we're talking about. And Jones Day is the name of our attorney firm that the company uses to keep us in compliance and to keep us in this space, because this blockchain technology we're using is based on cryptocurrency. That's how we get paid. You may have heard of something called Bitcoin. So that's basically what the information is all about. So this is our company. This is who we are. And I want to go into the details and the proof section of our meeting. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about where you can find the information if you don't understand blockchain and you don't understand cryptocurrency and you don't understand Bitcoin. You may have heard of it. You can go to this website. It's called nuieducate.info, nuieducate.info, and that will give you all the information you need. It also tells you when we have our meetings. I really would like you to concentrate on this. If you know nothing about blockchain, nothing about Bitcoin, nothing about cryptocurrency, please concentrate on these 14 minutes. Click on that on that link. It's going to open up a video, another link, and it will show you a couple videos. The first video is only 1 minute and 38 seconds, or 1 minute and some seconds, 38 seconds. Watch that, it'll tell you what Bitcoin is. Then there's an 11-minute and 43-minute video that tells you what blockchain and how the whole thing works. Is amazing. And if you really, really get excited about that, you can watch this 55-minute about the magic of money. This will really get you into a place that will absolutely change your mindset, change how you believe, change how you think about how money works, what the future is going to hold, how things will be. It is truly something remarkable. It's 55 minutes long, but I promise you it's also worth it. On the same page, when you click that, you can hit your back button. You can go back into the system and you can see all different types of videos about our multiple income streams, but I really don't want to go too in depth with that tonight. It's called Symmetry, Core, Reach, Kala. These are all the things that you can do very, very well at, and it's an absolute amazing system, but I don't want to get too much involved in that right now because I want to keep the main thing. I want to keep you focused on what we're talking about now, which is basically get you into a retirement type situation. You can always also see information about the owners of the company, about how it works, the owner of Mintage. You can see the live interview there. There's a plethora of information that you can spend some time taking a look and do as much analysis as you choose that you want to do. Not a problem at all. You can go right there and knock yourself out, okay? But tonight, what I want to do is I want to do more of the proof portion of it. Here's an article that was written March 18, 2018, and I would just like you to hear a little portion of this without reading the whole article, but here it is.
One of the most challenging aspects of saving for retirement is not knowing how much money you'll need to pay the bills in the future. After all, without a crystal ball, it's impossible to predict how long you'll live and what your expenses will look like 10, 20, or 30 years down the line. But while you can't get a precise handle on that figure, you can work off of the national average to establish a baseline savings target. And if you want to know what retirement costs the typical senior, the answer is $828,000.
Okay, now that's what they're saying, and then I want you to listen to this.
How do we get to that magic number? Adults 65 and over spend roughly $46,000 annually, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the average length of retirement in the U.S. is 18 years. Multiply $46,000 by 18, and you're looking at $828,000 nest egg to aim for, at least as a starting point. Now the good news is that $828,000 is more than attainable if you commit to saving early on. The bad news? Most Americans don't have anywhere close to that amount socked away at present. According to Go Banking Rates, here's how workers across the board are doing on retirement savings.
Okay, so here is the tough news. This is what they're saying the average person has in savings. If you go to 300,000 or more amount, 16%. That means over 84% of everyone is in trouble. But people are burying their head in the sand. They don't know what to do. No one's talking about this. All I see, look, I see the news almost every day, hear, watch articles, but no one is looking at this very serious problem because no one has a solution until now. So let me show you the solution. So about 17 weeks ago, I started with the company and I decided to go into mintage mining first. I'm also dealing with core and Kala, but I want to stick to this right now because we're going to branch out to those and I'll show you how those work later on. But let me show you my wallet with this company and how it started with me. So I first purchased way back when it all first started. I went and I purchased my first contract for $1,131. Way back on, you'll see it right here. Hold on, I like to give you proof. On January 28th, this is how much Bitcoin I purchased, and every single week I get paid. So here's my payouts every single week from that date. I've had 34 of them. Okay, so these are all my payouts. Then I have a choice of withdrawing what I put in. I've withdrawn nothing because I choose not to withdraw. The reason why I don't want to withdraw is because of the compounding, like I mentioned to you, compound interest of this company. This is the scale. Their high has been 5.5, their low has been 1.3, and this has been running with the 3-year contracts with an average of 1.55, and the 1-year contract had an average of 2.5. We no longer offer the 1-year contract because the 3-year makes more sense. Even though it's a little bit lower, it continues compounding. So I've been compounding for the last 17 weeks, and it keeps compounding. Now, I put in $1,100. As you can see, my compound number has raised and it's gone up. But if you figure 1.5 to 2.5%, this is what it looked like as all the weeks go on. These are my 17 weeks, and it keeps growing. It keeps growing. If you try to do the math, and 1.5 to 2% of $1,161 in 17 weeks, you'll probably come up with somewhere around $1,700. Well, remember the airplane story when people jump to conclusions? Let me show you what my $1,131 has turned into in 17 weeks. $18,033.87 worth of hash rate units, which is worth $1 per unit. You may say that's impossible. I can understand your thought process about why you may say that's impossible because the math doesn't compute. Well, you don't have all the information, and let me show you why. The reason why the math doesn't compute to most people is they don't fully understand how the whole program works, because in our company, the company allows us to benefit from helping people. You remember that slide when I showed you that the company wanted 1 million people earning $500 more a month? Well, if you do that, here's something wonderful that happens. It's only been 17 weeks for me, so I should only have a certain amount of payouts. But I have over almost 1,500 payouts. The reason I have 1,500 payouts is because I tell people and I pay it forward. Every time I pay it forward to someone I personally know, I receive a 10% bonus. That 10% goes up on top of my numbers and it compounds. That's why $1,131 is turned into $18,033. Very simple. That person that I told, if they tell their friends, they compound 10% and I compound 2%. So let me show you what that math looks like and what I'm trending and what I'm tracking. So if I put in $1,131 and I'm compounding every single week, hold on, whoops, 1131, and I'm going to use 0.02%. I'm averaging somewhere around about $3,000 a month right now in overrides and bonuses. I am actually up, actually a little bit more than that, is about $3,600. Because if I take all 17 weeks, let me run it through whoops. Let me run this through 17 weeks and see what it looks like if my mouse will allow me to play with it today. Okay, here we go. 17 weeks, that's about 17,833 at the bottom, a little bit ahead of that, but you'll see my point in a minute. So I will now, at the end of 156 weeks, start cashing out $18,000 a week. If I'm cashing out $18,000 a week, I don't think I have a retirement issue. And all I've done is put in some work for 3 years. This is why I told you this is a 3-year plan. Now, some of you may say, look, I'm not interested in talking to anybody. I don't like people. I want to do this passively. That's okay. You're just going to have to go, either two things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to put in more money than I put in, or you're going to have to spend more time waiting for these 3-year cycles. So it may take you 9 years to get to where I am. It may take you 12 years to get where I am. It's only math. The reason why mine is compounding more, because I'm putting in more. So you can put in more by writing a check or putting your own cash in, or you can just let the time go. So let's say you decide that you want to start off with $5,000. If you put in $5,000, your $5,000 without any bonuses or overrides will compound to $2,000 per week. That's a far cry from $18,000 because I've been compounded. Now, if you wanted to add $1,000 a month to your compounding, that will make the number $7,000. It's still a far cry from me putting in the work. But like in everything in life, if you put in the work, you get the reward. So let's just say you still don't want to put in the work and you put in 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, 200, whatever you want to do. You can use this calculator anytime you want. How it works is very simple. After your 3-year run and you start getting $2,000 a week, I suggest you don't spend all 4 weeks, that you strictly only spend 3 weeks and put the $2,000 a month from 1 year weeks back in, and that will take you closer to where I am. So now you're going to go through your second cycle of 3 years. Now you're at 11,000. That's not bad. And then if you want to do it again, you take $11,000. You don't cash out every single week. You take the fourth one. Now you're at $56,000 a week. It's only math. But it took you 9 years to get to where I got to in 3.5 to 4 years. It's only math. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not rocket science, okay? So, I am completely confused. I don't know what he's talking about. Blockchain, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, who, what? I don't understand. I get it. I understand. I know where you stand. I understand. But here's what I think of. There's been a few things that's happened in the world that people don't get. Everybody likes to jump on the bandwagon when it's a little bit too late. So Bitcoin came around. Many people didn't jump on it. Several did. The ones that did 5-6 years ago are now probably sitting on their own island or enjoying their life. I know many people under the age of 25 that are done because of Bitcoin, like done. They don't work, they don't do anything, they sit around, they travel, they do nothing because they got lucky and bought $2,000, $4,000 worth of Bitcoin 5 years ago. Now they're multimillionaires. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that ship has sailed. You cannot come into Bitcoin right now and put in $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, even $100,000 and let it become that type of income because Bitcoin today is $7,700. So if you put in $100,000 into Bitcoin right now, for your $100,000 to turn into $200,000, Bitcoin will have to go to $14,000. For $14,000, for your $100,000 to turn into $300,000, Bitcoin will have to go to $21,000. I don't see that happening in the near future. So I wish you luck. That ship has sailed. And just before this meeting ends tonight, I will prove to you what I'm talking about. So in the meanwhile, this wonderful technology called blockchain has come around. Now, back in the day, I didn't see a bunch of articles about about Bitcoin. But today, here's where I find myself. I find myself seeing things like Google working on blockchain technology, Cisco working on blockchain technology, Audi working on blockchain technology. Blockchain has grabbed the attention of investors. Phone company working on blockchain, smartphone. Japan in 2020, the biggest bank to switch to blockchain payments in 2020. That article is in Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. It's not going to take a rocket scientist for me to pay attention, because when I see this many things and I see the Rockefellers are jumping into cryptocurrency in a massive way, you have my attention. Now, do I believe that it is a 100% guaranteed it's going to work? Absolutely not. Let me give you my disclaimer. My results are not guaranteed for anyone. Nothing is guaranteed. I remember in the late 2000s, I had multiple rental properties in the tune of 18 of them, and the real estate market crashed. I've also been around when CDs have crashed, 401ks have crashed, mutual funds have crashed, the stock market's crashed. There's been all kinds of crashes in the world. But ladies and gentlemen, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out if I can start with $1,100, $5,000, $10,000, whatever, and put myself in a position, let me repeat that for the third time so it sticks, put myself in a position to retire and live however I want for the rest of my God's given life, I gotta take the shot. Because what else am I gonna do? So if someone on here knows something else we can do, please share it with our team, because we are a group of like-minded people that are trying to pay it forward and help people change your life. So here's where I need someone to volunteer. So I'm gonna ask someone on here to volunteer and tell me, without this opportunity, where do you see yourself, or do you have something that can generate you 15,000, 7,000, 20,000, 60,000, whatever thousand per week just before you retire in the next 3 years? Please volunteer, raise your hand, and please educate us so all of us can jump on your bandwagon and do what you're doing, because we need your help. So I'll give that a couple minutes to see who's going to tell us, who's brave enough to tell us, or if anybody's brave enough to say that they don't know and they're afraid and they need something like this. Give it a couple minutes before I give my closing website that I want to show. Anyone? No one? Do I need to call in someone? Okay, well, no one's talking. Does that mean that nobody has?
Hi, Clay. This is Billy. How you doing?
Hi, Billy. How are you? You are actually, Billy, you are a business owner, entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
Prior to this situation, have you found something that can get you to where you need to be?
No, I've been trying for decades and made some good money. Lost some money, made some really good money, but nothing come close to this. Nothing at all. And now I really, really have hope, dreams, and I'm very, very grateful for all the work you're putting in, training us, showing us, and dedicating yourself for this cause. And I plan to continue to do the same thing and learn from you and help as many people as I personally can.
Billy, that is so noble of you. I thank you so much for doing that. In fact, I remember I met you through one of your business partners. And I remember, in fact, it was really cold. I was in Utah when I was speaking to you. In fact, I kind of remember exactly where I was. I was just getting out of the hotel and I walked outside. I haven't seen snow before because I'm from Southern California, so it was freezing cold. I remember speaking to you the first time, and I've seen the change in you from the time that we first started talking, because you were a little skeptical. You weren't mean, but you were like, hey, how does this work? And now I hear you say those words. What a remarkable situation. I am extremely proud.
Thank you, sir. Well, I'm part of what you have created me. How was that?
Well, I don't think I created you. I think what I did is I just brought out what you already had in you, which is a great thing to do. If we can all do that more for people in our lives, what a wonderful world this will be.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so let me close with this statement, then I'll open up for anyone who have any questions. So this is my proof. 10 years ago, a young man had 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000. 10,000 Bitcoin. And it had no value to it. Nobody understood it. So this gentleman bought a pizza with it. And good old Papa John's took his 10,000 tokens or Bitcoin for this pizza because it was worth about $10. And he took it. Today, Bitcoins is $7,700 per Bitcoin. Do the math. That is $77 million that someone lost an opportunity. Today, I feel blockchain is the same situation. He or she who gets it and makes a move on it right now will reap the benefits. He or she who doesn't will have massive regrets. I got off the phone with one of my buddies, and I'm not going to name names because one of them includes a financial advisor, which is a friend of mine also, that him and I do not see eye to eye on this because his best return, you guys have heard me speak about him a couple of times, his best return has been 8%, and our company pays between 1.5% and 5.5% every single week. His best return is about 8% a year. So the guy that one of his friends decided to jump into our company and he purchased his first 5,000. In fact, he went on vacation and called me. He says, okay, I've gotten paid 2 weeks now. I'm gonna put another $5,000 in. I said, you can do whatever you choose because I don't give people financial advice. People can do whatever they choose to do with their money. I'm not gonna tell anybody what to do with their money. In fact, I had one of my buddies call me a couple of days ago and asked me, hey, I have $50,000. Should I put it in Kala or should I put it in mining? I'm like, I don't give financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. I don't give anybody financial advice. I can just show you what I do. I owe you two things, an opportunity and proof that it works. The rest is your decision. So the gentleman finally said, you know, Clayton, I'm really, really upset at that financial advisor. I said, why is that? He said, about 6 years ago, I called him and I told them that one of my buddies told me about something called Bitcoin. And I was going to put in $2,000. And I asked him, what should I do? And he told me, you'll be wasting your $2,000. You don't want to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin was pennies then. If he would have put in $2,000, today he would have about $3 to $5 million because someone told him not to. I will leave you guys with that thought. Okay. Any questions, comments?